I'm pretty sure that if I ask how many girls in here got their ears pierced when they were still very little, many of you would raise your hands, including me. But if I ask the same question to the boys, probably none of them would say me. And we see that as normal, but have you ever wondered why there's a need to pierce girls' ears when they can even talk? That's all because of gender stereotypes. Good morning, my name is Sana, and with my teammates Laduz and Lucia, we are going to be talking about gender stereotypes. I'm quite sure that almost all of you know what I'm talking about if I mention gender stereotypes. With the boom of the feminist movement in recent years and the awareness of certain attitudes and behaviors, the role that gender stereotypes play in our society has become a very frequent topic of debate. But if you're still a little bit confused about this term, let's see a definition of the European Institute of Gender Equality to make it clearer. So, gender stereotypes are the preconceived ideas whereby females and males are arbitrarily assigned characteristics and roles determined and limited by their gender. That means that women and men have to behave in a certain way or to exhibit certain characteristics just because they are women or men. These stereotypes are defined by social and cultural norms and values, which means that gender is not a biological condition but a social construction. The most used example and the one that is always the most clear example and the one that is always used to explain this kind of stereotypes is the one of the colors pink and blue. Pink for girls, blue for boys. And if you're a boy who's wearing pink, they probably will laugh at you. Fortunately, this case doesn't happen so much anymore, but similar situations or even worse do still happen. But before we talk about the current situation, let's go back to the origins. Alice Eagly, a professor of psychology, explained in her social role theory that gender stereotypes come from the division of labor of a society. Quoting Eagly, men's greater participation in paid positions of higher power and status, and the disproportionate nurturant role that is assigned to women create stereotypes that associate communion with women and agency with men. But the root of this reasoning lies much farther back in history. It is based on biological factors. The strength and the size of men and the ability of women to gestate and feed children made that each one of them would take care of very specific tasks, the tasks that they could carry out in the most efficient way. And it is true that at the beginning of humanity that makes sense, because in that way the human being could evolve in a more efficient way. But with the knowledge that we have acquired over these million years, our perception of these factors should have changed. However, gender stereotypes are far from being eradicated, and my teammate Laduz will explain how they are affecting our society.
Boys must wear blue and girls pink. Boys are interested in building games and cars, while girls are interested in baby Muppets and Barbie houses. Women are the ones who take care of the baby. Right from our childhood, we are prejudiced. Whether it be our parents, toys, colors, clothes, we integrate gender stereotypes and sexual roles which will further impact and shape our vision of society. All these factors lead to sexism and sometimes misogyny. Sexism is prejudice or discrimination based on sex or gender, especially against women and girls. Sexism can be a belief that one sex is superior or more valuable than another sex. Misogyny is the feelings or hating women or the belief that men are much better than women. Even though sexism touches men, homosexuals, and transgenders, women remain the main targets of sexism, as they are considered as weak and sometimes second class citizens. Sexism has various forms, from the simple insult to sometimes death. It touches women at every scale, in every sphere, from the family unit to the workplace. In the work environment, women tend to suffer from two plagues that are the gender pay gap and the glass ceiling. In 2016, the average gender pay gap in Europe was 16.2%, with France and Spain as leading countries. In France, women earn 20% less than their male counterparts in the public and the semi-public sector. Women are also confronted to the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling, which is an unofficial barrier to opportunities with an organization or company, which is perceived to prevent protected classes or workers, particularly women, from advancing to higher positions. This touches especially women who have kids, women who are pregnant, but also people coming from ethnic backgrounds. In daily life, individuals tend to suffer from double standards, which is the fact of perceiving a same action differently according to the gender. Also suffer from the rape culture, which is the social environment that allows sexual violence to be normalized and justified, fueled by the persistent gender inequalities and attitudes about gender as sexuality. Which means that generally a victim of rape will be blamed, or people will find justifications for the rape, whether it be the attitude, whether it be the outfit, or just to normalize it, saying, well, men have sexual needs, so it is normal. Or you were drunk, this is your responsibility. To finish, we're dealing with transgenders and homosexuals. Transgenders and homosexuals are not treated equally as heterosexuals. They tend to be considered as second-class citizens and even to be denied rights. The number of homophobic attacks has risen by 36% in France within a year, from 1,360 in 2018 to 1,870 in 2019. In the US, in 2019, the US Supreme Court approved Donald Trump's bill to ban transgenders to enroll in the army. We still have a long way before putting an end to gender stereotypes and all the injustices that goes with it.
From some time to now, there have been numerous movements to change gender stereotypes, with men reivindicating that they can do the same as women in terms of having a defined style, like painting their nails, wearing skirts. More and more people are raising their voices to change the way we see the world from a gender perspective, and many influential people are making this change visible. Here in Spain, we have witnessed a phenomenon that went viral a few weeks ago. Here we can see a headline from an English newspaper that says, both girls and boys throughout Spain have decided to wear skirts to high school to break with stereotypes and condemn bullying. On October 27, A boy from Bilbao called Mikel uploaded a video to his TikTok profile explaining that he has decided to wear a skirt to school just because he felt like it. But because of that, one of his teachers told him off and sent him to the school counselor. This video went viral with more than 1.5 million views, and news spread like wildfire throughout the country. In response, hundreds of male students decided to wear a skirt to school. In his video, Mikel says that apart from wanting to wear a skirt to school, he wanted to join a feminist movement that he had seen in other countries. Within a few days, this video had reached another job, Miguel, who requested via his Twitter account for young people to wear skirts to high school, wherever gender they were. He soon gathered hundreds of followers, and social networks have been inundated with photos and videos of boys and girls in skirts. Finally, another example of this movement could be the one that had been taking place in France recently, in which the Minister of Education, Jean-Michel Blanquer, called to wear Republican dress in schools. And for that reason, students have joined themselves using the hashtag Monday, September 14, and this movement called to wear indecent clothing in protest against restrictive dress codes and inappropriate comments about their appearance. So we can see that the perspective of gender roles is still changing through time, but now we have to bear in mind that gender is a demonstration of democracy, justice, and freedom, so that we can create an equal society. But unfortunately, there is still a lot to fight for. So thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you have enjoyed our presentation. And now we are going to start with our debate.